to Bear Lifestyle, the podcast where we talk about taboo topics to make them normal and acceptable. I'm your host, Simona Spark, and I'm so happy that you are here. We are about to get naked by stripping away insecurities, judgments, and all kinds of limitations to reveal the essence of who we really are, Bear. Bold, authentic, radical, express. Let's go. All right, let's chin chin because that's how I start. I start with celebration. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
I'm always celebrating myself first, and then I'm celebrating the guests, and I'm celebrating everyone who listens and watches to this. Welcome, welcome to Bear Lifestyle. All right, everyone, we are back with another wonderful man, CG. I'm not going to pronounce all of that because I don't want to butcher your name.
No, it's fine. It's German, Siegfried, but yeah, Siggy is fine.
Guten Morning to you.
Danke. Guten Morgen.
So we just chat for a minute before we push the record button, and I'm happy to have CG here, just saying, hey, whatever the conversation takes us. I'm an open person. You use the word out, and this is what I want to enter into the conversation, because we still feel fully grown adults that we need to be out about our sexual preferences, about our kink, about as if we are not out, we have a big secret.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's start from there. How this lands for you?
Yeah, so the idea of being out or not out is, I mean, it's a delicate topic because it also travels into consent as well. In any relationship, you don't want people telling your personal business. I'm not out with all of my personal business, but everybody that knows me gets to know, hey, I'm polyamorous. If they ask me, I'll tell them I'm kinky. That I go to the local BDSM club on occasion. That I go to the local swingers joint. If somebody asks me that question, I'll tell them that answer, and that's what I call out. But then there are other people that exist in those bigger spaces where they'll be more out. Does that make sense? They'll wear the shirts. They'll wear visible markers like the collar out in public, and that's sort of another level of out.
Right.
And what you were getting on is like, we as grown adults, some of us can't be out because there are repercussions about being kinky or being your true authentic self sometimes, which is a sad thing. I wish it weren't so, but there might be gender equality protections at work, but you can still get in trouble at work for being kinky, and that is a very, very sad thing. So I am blessed that I can be out. My work doesn't care, but that's where we sort of start the conversation of being out in modern society. And gosh, I wish it would be good just as grown adults we could be our most authentic selves without repercussions.
Well, this is the reason I opened this space, to be a space where we could have open conversations about, as I say, all taboo topics. It's the only way that I know that we could turn those taboo topics in normal and acceptable. If we are just talking about it like it's just another Thursday, know, and yes, who we are and how we live our life and what is our lifestyle, as you say, is nobody's business. And in the same time, I get to decide when I draw the line and saying, hey, this is private. So
yes,
I could let you in till this point, as you say, yeah, I'm going to the swing parties and I'm going to this BDSM, organized parties and whatnot, period. I won't tell you who I'm going with, what I'm doing, what I'm into it, and all that. It might be people really, really close that I talk with, but I'm not going to put it here live for the whole world to see and listen on all podcast platforms, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's another important point of topic when you're talking about the spectrum of out. My friends just get that information, but my friends don't get, let's say, more information than that too. My friends don't get to know they might know who I'm going with. They don't get to know what I did. I don't talk about that.
Right.
That, but circling back around, it's so important for podcasts like yours to exist, because the more you talk about it, the more it becomes normalized, the less taboo it is. Because we might talk about polyamory, which is my primarily authentic thing. That's what I'm really into, and that might not be somebody else's thing. But as they hear me talk about that and then talk about something they're into, they realize, look, none of this stuff is that taboo. If it makes you happy and hurts no one else, let's stop worrying about it.
Yeah. In the end of the day, we all want to feel included and accepted. So
Yes.
I have another guest, Andrea. I will put the link in the description. She's a polyamorous person, and it was a very, very juicy conversation, educational one, really. To your point, people, they don't feel accepted and included. They're looking for content like this, and they
Mm-hmm.
need to say, oh, wait, actually, I'm not the only one. Actually, it's nothing wrong with me. Actually, there are people
Mm-hmm.
like me in the world. They are
Mm-hmm.
accepting, talking about it, even presented that part of their identity as this is who I
Mm-hmm.
am, damn it. And that's how I get to live because it's my life.
Yep. Yep. Well, that's why it's so important for the kink community and the poly community to stand behind the LGBT community, the trans community, because one of the important things why it's good to have podcasts like this and of people that are out sharing their experience and what makes them happy. At some point, who knows what the next community that's going to be attacked or be shamed is? Will it be the kink community? Will it be a poly community? Is it going to be the swinger community? So that's another thing about intersectionality. Let's be out. Let's have an honest conversation about all of this. As long as it doesn't harm anybody else, let's enjoy.
Right. I still make this statement. It started years ago. My first podcast was supporting LGBTQ community, redefining
Mhm.
family in the modern age of LGBTQ community. And I say, because somebody at some point I was some event asked me, like, what's your mission? I say, my mission is to dissolve the LGBTQ community. And they're like, oh, all right. I'm like, yeah, why do they need a community? Because
Yes.
they're not feeling safe to be around us, right? And in my mind, maybe it didn't land it well, but that's how it feels. And that goes for any communities. Why people need communities? Because they are
Mhm.
not accepted, because they are looked at as being weird or odd or abnormal, etc., right?
Yeah. I've heard talked about that, like a post gender society, a post sexual orientation society, where it's not a big deal anymore that, hey, somebody, hey, I thought you're heterosexual. Why are you dating a guy now? I don't know. I vibe with this guy. Where that isn't a deal at all anymore. Or when somebody says I'm polyamorous, oh, great for you. I'm monogamous. Or like, hey, I'm kinky. Wow, I'm not into impact play, but you do you. That where it's just not that big a deal anymore. That
Yeah,
it's accepted.
right. Between the people that accept they part about themselves.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
can we agree that there is most places
Mm,
you're not gonna say it? And as
yeah.
you give example, like how many workplaces is where you still judged by your
Mm,
sexual orientation or preferences or
yep.
lifestyles, right?
Mm,
Instead of being judged by the performance and what you bring to them.
exactly.
So this is the dance that we need to learn, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So my intention here is like it's very clear. I keep saying, I don't know, this is gonna be episode 120 or so. I don't know. Take that back if I mess up the number. Uh, but I just want to bring more and more men in a conversation because it's interesting to hear a man perspective, right? So now I
Mm.
caught you here in the car coming out from a date. How was your date, dear?
Oh, it went well. It went well. It's again, I don't have her permission to say all about it. Again, the whole consent and out, but
Right.
no, she's a wonderful person. We have a great friendship dynamic. It was a wonderful date.
So you don't appear as somebody that you in your 20s. Uh,
No.
so a big part of my work and comments that I get is like, adults, women and men,
Mm,
they're dating, they're back into the dating space after a marriage 2 or 3 over here, or
mhm.
you know. So how is it for you as a man to put yourself out there? Do you mind telling
Okay.
us a bit about where did you find the courage? How is this different than couple decades ago, and how can you find the excitement and the fun in it?
So for me, uh, for how I'm living now, which is, I would say, more authentic than it was, about 15, 18 years back, I ran into somebody who told me what polyamory was. At the time, I was married in a monogamous relationship, and that dissolved entirely separately than whatever else. Like marriages, people go their different ways. Divorce is not a bad thing. You just move your different ways.
Mhm.
And after I got out of that marriage, I said, what did I like about what was right, what was wrong? And the one thing I loved most about relationship is dating. Is I loved having my own piece of my own house. So I became what is called solo polyamorous. I live by myself with my two dogs, and I have long committed relationships. My girlfriend Jen, I've been in with her for 7 years now. That's as committed as you can get. We're not going to move into each other because she lives with her husband. Um, but just authentically realizing that what I'm here for is dating. And yeah, I'm 46 years old. So, and I wonder how my life would have turned out if I knew what polyamory was when I was 19 or 20 instead of when I learned about it around 35 years old. Then still had to
Mm,
wait for my marriage to dissolve because I was trying to be as honest to my wife at the time as possible. Did not cheat, but still that marriage ended.
right, right, right. Well, thank you for sharing that. I think it's what most experience, myself included. We have all these urges and desires and wonders and questions, but yet we don't want to follow
Mm.
because that's is not what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes, there's that cookie cutter, what's supposed to make you happy. And if that cookie cutter doesn't make you happy, then there's got to be something wrong with you, which is
Right.
something you absolutely have to get away from. Ask yourself, what makes me happy? Tell that to the people you're dating, particularly in the relationship aspect, and you'll be surprised if you're just honest with people. The great lady I just came with from a date, not Jen, another person, polyamorous.
Mhm.
We tell, hey, she likes going on dates, I likes going on dates. We're not looking for anything super committed, maybe even ever, and it works out. If you're authentic in your relationship style, and this is coming from a man's perspective, other men listen up. If you just say what you want, you'll be surprised that you get what you want.
Mm.
If you, and again, talking to the men that are listening, if you try and do seven-dimensional chess and try to say what you think the girl or the guy, if you're gay, wants to hear, you're setting up to shoot yourself in the foot. Just
Yeah.
honestly say what you want. And yes, some people will reject you for that, but at least you didn't waste their time or your time with a lie that you were giving trying to say what you think the women want or
Yeah.
the game. Yeah.
Rejection is just it's a natural filter to move on. But you don't know if it's a fit or what if you're not honest with yourself first,
Yes.
as
Yeah.
far as what is
Yes.
it that I want, what is it that I like, and then to just tell the other person. I mean, I've been in a situation where, look, I've been married 3 times, divorced 3 times, and getting back into the dating space, you meet two group of peoples, right? One group that will say, what in the fuck is wrong with you?
Yes. I've
Right?
experienced that.
And then there is the other group that says, good on you, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like, are you looking at something wrong with me? Like, what's the common denominator? What am I doing wrong? Why it's my picker broke? I pick up a wrong one, or I can't stay married, or all the things, right? And then there's
Mm.
that other perspective where after a lot of healing and insecurities, because I went through all that, right? I was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, actually, no, actually, I got into a space is like, if this is no longer a match, if we are no
Mm.
longer going in the same direction, they invented divorce for that. So might as
Yeah.
well stop that, and you go be happy, and I'll go be happy, and I'm gonna find another partner as long as I will be happy with this partner.
Mm. And that's so important in dating too. There's nothing wrong with. the date not working out. That doesn't make them an evil person because, oh yeah, we had great chemistry when we started. We got to know each other and we discovered our goals for dating or life in the future, they don't line up. Hey, have fun. You go look for that person that will supply this need for you. I'll go on with mine. And that there's so much judgment attached to that. Like how dare you be almost perfect for me is what a lot of breakups seem like. Wait, they were almost perfect for you. That makes them a really good person. They just had something wrong. Just be happy and move on. A
Yeah.
little rant there of mine.
And look, we all place judgments and we all forget to look in the mirror first. Like, I am
Yeah.
not perfect,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And
Yes.
recognize it or not, you go on a date. I mean, especially women, right? I go on a date like I want to be presentable. I want to make sure that my makeup is on point. I want to make sure that my
Mhm.
hair is clean, right? But in the same time, to step into the space where like actually I'm not doing this for the man because he's just a stranger that I'm about to meet, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually doing it for myself
Mhm.
because I feel good when my eyeliner is good. I
Mhm.
feel pretty when my hair is on point. So then I stand in a confident power, right? Like, this is who I am. I know what I want. I'm clear as much as I could be because we still discover, right?
Mhm. Yes. Yep.
And then to have the balls to say, hey, this is not a match.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I wish you
And
was,
more.
and I'm just gonna go and find my
Mhm.
well.
Yeah. And a lot of times when you have that conversation, you meet it mirrored from the other person because both people feel that chemistry. Like, yeah, you're right. It's kind of falling apart. It's kind of sad when it's not that, when it's a one-sided loss of chemistry. But you've got to do that, or you'll string them along. Don't be afraid to speak your truth, even if it might hurt a little bit. It'll hurt less in the long run. And about going out on dates. I mean, going out on dates is fun. You should enjoy
Yeah.
dressing yourself up. I mean, I'm a little bit dressed up here too myself, and that's not. You're not just dressing up for him or for her. You're dressing up for yourself for the enjoyment of going on a date. What
Yes.
what I've always told myself is when I plan a date, I plan it so that if I get stood up, I still have fun. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
I plan a restaurant that I would go to if they showed up or if they didn't. I plan an activity like a hike. If they showed up or if they didn't, I'm still going to have a blast. I've done all my makeup. The guy doesn't show up. Hey, I've still done all my makeup and I'm out at a bar that I'm going to talk to some other people now that I look beautiful.
I'm gonna enjoy a cocktail and I'm gonna feel as happy as I could feel, right?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I hear that mainly from women of a certain age. Um, of it's so hard and it's so creepy and it's online. And I'm like, online is the best because you could filter so much from the
Mm-hmm,
of your home, right?
mm-hmm,
And then I personally go like, I want to have a video chat. I want to see we could have a conversation, some kind of a virtual connection, right?
mm-hmm.
And then, we go in person and you go to the date with the intention of having a good time. If I could recommend something, right? But
Yeah,
I said before, don't even go on a date if you don't want to have a good time. Stay home.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
go on a date if all you could think of is like what he's gonna say, how he's gonna judge you, or whatever. It's like moving from I wonder if he's gonna like me, moving to I wonder if I'm gonna like him. Because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know that I'm fabulous, that I know that I'm great, that I know that I could bring to the table. So then I show up like that, right? So there is no, oh my God, we are not scared little girls and boys anymore.
no. Dating from a point of desperation or scarcity is a problem. When you want this date to work out so well that you're not ready to accept that this guy could be absolute garbage, you put up with so many red flags. And also, if you want to please, again, the male perspective stuff that's happened to me, if you show up on the date and want this guy to be your guy so badly, and men do this too, they want this girl to be their girl so badly, the desperation is palpable and it ruins the chemistry of the date. So you're much better off going on a date saying, I'm happy right now. I'm going to go on to this date. I'm going to have happy. If I call this date and get a phone call and dump him because he's horrible, you're still going to have fun. Date from a point of plenty and of happiness. You know, just like what you're saying, I'm going to have fun no matter what. I'm already having fun. The date is just icing on the cake. It's a little bit extra. And if it doesn't work out, I am still going to have fun.
With that, I think I will recommend everyone to take themselves on a date first. Just go out
Yes.
by yourself. Can
Mm-hmm.
you go out, have dinner by yourself and have a good time? Can
Mm-hmm.
you go out, have a cocktail by yourself and have a good time? And I'm talking especially with women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, men too, but mostly we still, deal with double standards.
Mm-hmm.
It's how people look at you. Because I've been there, right? Sitting on the table, ordering dinner, and it's like you are waiting for somebody. No, it's just me.
Yep.
And then you see their face, right? Like,
Yep.
oh, she's alone. She's single. It's like I'm having the best time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and that's the thing, like, can you be single and don't feel alone? For me,
Mm-hmm.
that was a signal that I'm ready to date. Because the
And
desperation is gone, right? Can you be by yourself and not feel lonely? Now you know you're ready.
yeah, or from the what I've seen men do is, can you go out to the bar and not be cruising for a girl? Can you just
Yes.
go out to the bar and have fun with the boys? Or are you going to go out to the bar and always be that creepy guy that freaks out the waitress or ruins the night out for some other girl? You know, have enough common sense to smell the chemistry when there's something wanted, as opposed to, for the guys too, go out to the bar alone and be happy without chasing anything. Be happy with yourself. And that's a good place to be. So you recommend online dating? One of the things that I highly recommend is Meetup, the app that lets you pursue
Yeah.
hobbies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
will meet some of the best people learning how to backpack, learning how to homebrew, um, you know, go into spaces where you are happy by yourself, gardening or whatever. And you'll be surprised that when you're going out to have fun by yourself and you're happy with yourself, how stuff happens naturally, you know?
Socializing.
Yes.
Nobody's gonna, because I hear that, oh, to put myself out there. Well, you have to. Either
Yeah.
way, nobody's gonna knock on the door and say, hey, lady, are you single? Do you want a date? You have to
Yeah.
put yourself out there, online meetups group, all kind of like local events. Like, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And socializing is also a skill that you need to practice. When I looked into you before I did this interview, you put a couple of videos from West Coast swing dance on your Instagram, and I can recommend that highly to anybody. I dance Latin dance, salsa and bachata. If you want to learn how to be better socially, taking up dancing lessons to read somebody else, just again tangent, but I highly recommend that. If you're socially have two left feet, do dancing. You'll get so much better at it.
And that being said, not to burst any bubbles, even in those
Yeah.
spaces, always gonna be a creep in a corner.
Oh God, yes,
That,
there
that
is. Oh
goes
God, yes,
goes with
there is.
that intention. I'm gonna find somebody, right?
Oh
But
yeah, no, yeah.
that's just to say that we could protect ourselves. We don't need to fear somebody
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
desperate, right? I mean, come on. We long for this adulthood, all our childhood, right? To just be adults
Mm,
and do whatever the hell you want to do. As I keep saying, like, go do whatever the hell you want to do. You're an adult now.
mm, yep, yep.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So here we are. We went from like having non-traditional sexual
Relationships.
taste and
Yeah,
relationships into just dating as an adult.
yep,
And as we want to wrap this up, so don't keep it too long because spam attention at all.
yeah.
How would you close this conversation, CG?
Well, I think we just wrapping it all the way back to the beginning. We talked about being out, being authentic, asking for what you really want, which is goes back to dating and dating with an aspect of asking for what you really want and doing what you really want honestly. So it's that authenticity of finding your relationships, building them, being out as you need be, and just sort of molding your life to how you want it to be. Like you said, we're adults now. Let's just make our lives so we can be happy.
Yes. That's a great note to close on. So thank you so much for taking your time. Even
Yep.
though you're in a car on the road. Park, everybody, his park. He's
Yes,
not
parked.
And let's chat again. I feel like we
Oh,
have
absolutely.
many other directions to go to.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that.
All right. Thank
All
you
right.
so much, CG.
Yep. Bye.
And this is where we landed. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you enjoyed the show, make sure you leave me a review to let me know. For more bear experiences, please go to simonaspark.com/bear and follow us on Instagram at simonasparkworld. I can't wait to have you back. Until then, be bear, bold, authentic, radical, expressed. See you next time.